this is basically what our wrestling coaches tried to drill into my head for the last couple of years. But they're often protecting their lead leg. And if we can make a lead hand post and a rear hand wrist grip at the same time, then this kind of stops a lot of their offense. And it might not be done slowly like this, but we'll just do a snap from here. So as I reach for the leg, I'm going to let go of the hand and just reach for the back of the leg. When Tommy steps his leg backwards, now's a good time to snap. So my left hand is going to go to a collar tie, almost like a blocking collar tie first. And then when I'm snapping, I'm moving this lead leg backwards and trying to keep the same distance between my elbow and my knee. So I snap, and then from here we can put the hands on the mat and attack front head. So we're going to build off this. Each time somebody bites on a feint, we'll get good at reacting to it. But in this initial stages, try and make these grips at the same time, right? Because now I don't feel like he can get to my lead leg. If he does, he's going to have a hard time linking his hands together. And so once I reach for that leg, I'm just taking a little step forward with my lead leg. So just go here. So now with his feet backwards, it's much harder for him to stop the snap happening. And with my elbow in close, I'm pretty safe from underhooks. So when I come to the back of the head, this motion is kind of like combing the hair. So I want to roll off the top of the head. And it's just like an RDL, where if I move my left leg backwards, I get a much better chest snapping towards the forward motion. And we should have a lot better time snapping that puppet down. So if you're gonna both have the same lead leg forward, then what you're gonna practice is posting with the lead hand and gripping with the rear hand. Now we can reach for the lead leg, and once those feet are backwards, we're snapping, moving that leg backwards to snap into the floor. We're just building one step more, and when we snap and the arms go out to catch their balance, it's a good time to punch an underhook. We're here, same as before. Up, and now when I snap, I'm circling to my right a little bit, and we get to the underhook. So now with the underhook, we can step across and behind. We should be able to basically collect them. You'll be able to take someone down from there. So one more time. We've got this same position as before. Making sure that we're posting with our elbow in, and now when I step, I snap in circles to get to my underhook. Now I'm punching my underhook in, reaching for the knee, and just stepping behind for that spot here. But I'll probably get there. Cool? That's it. So building off that lead hand post, sometimes I can't reach this wrist, but it's a good idea to just kind of throw this out like a jab. So if I do it again, see how he's kind of leaning into it, right? And now when I reach for the post, and I feel like he's trying to lean, I just take my hand away. And now we can change levels, and we can shoot, and we can get our hands ideally linked together, but here is good. So if Tommy sprawls, and I still have hands on the back of his knees, then I'm going to take a step up with my right foot and lift my hips up like in a sprinter pose. And now I'm trying to reshoot. So I'm trying to get my hips back under my shoulders and shoot my knee back underneath them so I have good posture again. And from here, if you link your hands together and step up, you can do pretty much whatever you want. You don't have to take each other down now. But think about, you don't even have to do this setup. It's just a handy one, right? Where we're posting, and then we shoot. Yeah. So now, as long as my shoulders on the inside, I'm pretty happy. If I have two grips wrapping as deep as I can around the legs, then now's a good time to reshoot. It's very hard to finish doubles when we're all shoulders in front of chest. So if I take a step forwards and up would be ideal. Now I lift my knee off the ground in my butt. So from here, I just try and keep my hands where they are, and I shoot my knee as deep through as I can. And now we're back into a decent, like shoulders over top of hips position, so we can link our hands together and finish however you'd like to finish, if you want to finish. So one more time, we'll just go from the double, where I shoot and then sprawl on. As long as my hands are in contact with the legs, like even if Tommy goes really far back, right, we step up, and get our hips back underneath us, so now we can link our hands together. Cool? There you go. Tommy, and he scrolls, and he gets to the point where he's scrolling so much that my hands are about to come off the knees. I don't feel like I can recover from here. So, particularly if we've done a good job at shooting and they have like a double over back position, this is a good time for a sit out. So I can no longer reach the back of the knees, or I'm just about to let go. So I put two hands on the mat and lift my hips up off the floor on my knees. From here, I want to take a little step forwards and out with my right, and then I'm going to try and sit into a squat position here, and now I can bounce back around behind where we can start looking to get going again. So in this, you can just start here on your knees. We've shot a double and they've sprawled. I know I can't really recover from here, particularly when my head is under their chest. It's much harder for us to recover. So we go hands on the mat and just build as much height as you can. When my feet and hands are far away from each other, it's going to be a pretty weak squat. But when I step forwards and out to the side that I want to sit out on, and I start bringing my left foot into this like 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and I'm rowing this elbow backwards to get rid of that grip. Now I can start getting ear to back and look to get around behind. So you can start from a failed double, they're sprawling, maybe our head's covered, and we build up with our knees off the ground. We step forwards, we go into a squat position instead of down on our hip, and now we can bounce back behind. Cool. So anytime I can bring his knee towards my hips and keep his hips where they are, then I'm going to be in a much better spot here. So we have options to go hand and whatnot. One that I've been working on and that Connor has helped me with recently is dropping to our hip as we get our left elbow behind the knee. So, behind the ankle. So from here, I'm just driving off the ground and my shoulder's pushing into the thigh, and now we can start looking to put weight on their far leg. So this is pretty much, improvisation time, whether you want to build up, whether you want to get behind them and start shoving the leg. But the idea being that if I'm on a single leg and Tom can get his knee behind his hip, it's very hard to hold on to here. So anytime we're in this spot, we can pull the knee in towards our chest and try and keep his hip where it is. So the closer my elbows are to my ribs, the stronger I'll be. And if you watch the Russians do this, they do it a little bit differently. Like if that leg's back, they build up just like they're sitting out, then they kind of reshoot again and pull it in. So you've got options. But now I want this ankle to be going this way. If Tommy can bring it the other way, then now we'll have that in a second, but we're in a bit of trouble. So now I'm just going to go left elbow behind the ankle, and I sat to my hip. So now I'm keeping the knee where it is with my hands and looking to drive and start figuring it out from here, whether we're coming behind, whether we're reaching for the second leg and bending our head out. Let's do two together so we can get through a little bit less. I've pulled the knee in very well, and when I go to get my elbow in between the legs, he's turning that foot around. So now I'm just going to pull the knee out, and we can start switching to doubles. So you've got two options here, but this is from a failed single leg. The first option is when I can bring his knee forwards of his hips, and I can get my elbow behind the heel. Even if his heel is a bit far away here, when I sit to my hip, it helps me cover that corner. Right? And now I can trap the heel and start driving and breaking it down. If we can't get to the heel, so maybe I've gone for it and cut that heel, now build back up and just pull the knee in a straight line across your hips so that we can take top like a double leg. Cool? Let's go. So the sloppy drag will be when they have a chin strap. We might use the opposite hand they're chin strapping with just to make it hard for them to get their grip. And then I'm peeling the hand towards my chest. Back of the hand to the chest would be nice. If I feel like there's too much weight on my knees, I might sit back on my hips for a second just to be able to step up better. And now when I reach above the elbow, I can push my head out with that trail leg. Yeah. So one more time. We're in a chin strap situation now. I'm looking to block the fingers, get to the inside of the wrist and pull the back of the hand to my chest. And if I sit back and lean on my right a little bit, it can help me step up. Now I can reach above the elbow and pushing off the ground with my left foot and dragging that elbow past so my head comes free and we can get behind. Cool? There's it. So you can just build off this side drag and try and dump their shoulder. So if my same side hand is pulling the tricep down, I'm reaching. up for the elbow. So now, if you're circling around, I'm just going to swap my hands. So I was sucker dragging with my right hand. Now I can cup the tricep with my left. I can block the knee and drop my knee and my shoulder. So think about it like we're sucker dragging with our right hand, and then we want to keep pulling that arm through, and then we can block or just dump to our shoulder. So the cheeky one is when they start looking for a guillotine, it's getting pretty bad here. We're going to cup the back of the hand. So pretty much fingers almost pointing the same direction. If I can get the knuckle line, I'm happy. So now my left hand is going to reach up for the elbow, and I sit to my hip. When I sit to my hip, I start pulling this elbow to my chest and basically trying to wrist lock in here. So now I can start wrist locking in and use the back of my head on the back of the shoulder, and we can keep rolling through it. And you can wrist lock. Yeah. So this one, that hand has gone through deeper than I would like it to be. If I can get my thumb and my fingers over the knuckle line, then even if he still has a hold of the chin strap here, kind of jamming in. So now as I step up, I'm trying to reach for this elbow. It helps me lean to my right here so I can reach up. And now when I sit through my hip, I'm aiming to get the back of my head on the back of his shoulder, and I start falling to my back, pushing the wrist, keeping the elbow trapped so we can roll through. So I'll do both of them. I'll carry on whichever one you like. The first one is building off our sucker drag. So we're clearing the hand, I'm getting deep with my right hand, and I'm trying to sucker drag. Now I'm swapping to my left hand, blocking the leg, and dropping to my hip as I dump his shoulder. The second one will be if I'm cupping the back of his hand, stepping up like I was trying to sucker drag anyway, and now I'm sitting to my hip, pulling the elbow to my chest, back of the hand to the shoulder, and it's just for more pressure from there. Even if you don't have a lot of room to wrestle, if you can sit up wrestle and practice like wrestling up from any kind of spot there, then having good reaction. So I'd say hands linked together, he sprawls, we're trying to get our hips back underneath us. If that doesn't work and my hand's covered, we can think about sitting out. If that doesn't work, we can get to our single. If we can get to the corner, good. If we start sprawling and attacking the chin strap, then we can think about sucker dragging. If that doesn't work, we can get back to a single. If he sprawls, we can 4-point, we can sit out, we can get back to a single. It'll just give you things to stay in it. So you can just wrestle with a lot more security knowing that even if your last double wasn't the best, then if you get sprawled on and you have some follow-ups, it just gives you some confidence that you're not dead yet. I'd say if you want to get good at wrestling, start with a sprawled single. And if you can get good at finishing this spot, you can take some surprisingly terrible shots and still end up on top. Any questions?